Councillor Ball. Councillor Dance, briefly.
Very briefly, no more than a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Sorry, I just spoke to council.
Councillor Turner, please. I didn't see him there.
Mr Mayor, I'm grateful for allowing me to approach you, and I thank the four officers for their advice. The reason I came forward is because under the annual meeting of the council, there should be an election of the leader of the council. I asked whether I was entitled to ask that there be an election of leader of the council. I was told by yourself and through the monitoring officer that there's been a resolution passed that says that the council will not have a leader. I pointed out that actually the resolution says that the committee chairman would not be called leader, but does not mean that the council has no leader. The reason for pointing that out is because in the agenda it says at item number 9 that there's going to be a statement by the leader of the council. So I asked, therefore, could I propose, for example, either one of the opposition councillors, I want to propose one of them to actually take leadership. I believe that there should be a leader of the council. You've told me I'm not entitled to do that, and I should return to my seat.
Absolutely right. No, it's fair. I think the problem is that until the vote was taken earlier on, the agenda was prepared beforehand, and until at this point in time, there will not be a statement by a leader of the council, which is the last, would have been the last item on the agenda, if there had been a leader of the council. That won't take place. So we now move to the recommendation. We voted on the order paper. The timetable. Sorry. Oh, yeah. You've ended up. So item 8. Timetable ordinary meetings. A proposer, please. Councillor Callaghan. Formally moving. Seconding. Boom. Formally seconded. No one wishes to speak?
Yes, I do.
You wish to speak? Right, we'll do that. Councillor Turner. Is this just time so that Councillor Dads can find a point of order?
No, Mr Mayor, I'm just going to point out what a sorry state of affairs tonight has been. And this is just another layer of sadness. Basildon under an unholy alliance, coalition, that can't get it together, have shown themselves to be, and it's only day one. You know, this has been an absolute farce. It's been a pantomime. It's not even Christmas yet. I'm looking at the, you know, and I have to ask myself. You know, I've spent a good part of 15 years spending 3 or 4 days a week down here. I thought I was running the council. Then I look at this timetable, and I'm thinking, obviously not all of it has been printed, because the way the committees are structured, you know, we're going to meet, what, 4 times a year? So who's going to be running? We haven't got a leader, so there's no leader that can dictate. In terms of the steer, there is no one, and you cheer and laugh. So somebody needs to take responsibility. Who will? Who's the leader? Because I can't see anybody. I look at that. I look at the timetable, and I'm thinking, where are all these decisions that me and my good cabinet have been taking? Where are all these decisions going to be made. Because we're told that all of the cabinet responsibilities are with the committees, not the chairman, with the committees.
Not officers.
Not officers. Officers don't lead this authority. So where are those decisions going to be made? This is an absolute shambles. It's the worst thing that could happen to Basildon and the residents. So suddenly we have these subcommittees, these urgency committees, policy committees, they'll be called in desperately to come and unravel this situation. And nobody is providing a steer. Nobody is there to direct, orchestrate proceedings. Nobody has a focus. Call it a vision. And the bit of work that is in front of us now that we've got to vote on basically seals it. Signed, sealed and delivered. What an absolute shambles. Day one. And the Gang of Four should be proud of themselves because they've dismantled democracy. This isn't about democracy. This is about hiding it. This is a shell game. Find the P because it's going to be moving all over the place. Now, I would expect to have a calendar that is a full calendar. We are an ambitious council. We always have been. This is a step back. It will be a step back because nobody will be taking the authority forward on that stuff. I would expect that calendar to be absolutely flush with meetings and schedules, but it isn't. It's bare. It's barren. There's nothing there. Who is going to be making decisions? Where are they coming from? You know, I can honestly say I get called every week, maybe more times than twice a day in the week. We can, you know, what do we do here and what do we do there? You know, the chief executive has an absolute massive workload. He's doing an admirable job on pushing this council forward. Who's going to be managing that? No. You're going to leave it to the chief executive?
He wants to give him a 10-10.
Is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to pull all that work away? And that is what we're dealing with here. This isn't a rubber stamp exercise, and that's what we've been given. It isn't thought through, and you can tell that by the way the Councillor Dadds has eloquently exposed it. It hasn't been thought through, and neither has the calendar, neither has the schedule. That is what we're facing. And what we do now is it will be rubber stamped, because if sense prevailed, you'd kick this out and go and have another look at it. Or maybe we'll get the monitoring officer just to dictate what that's going to be, because that seems to be the way we're working. If I had done that, there would be hue and cry. But it's okay now we're under a Gang of Four. An unholy alliance can leave it to an officer to tell us how we're going to work. Mr. Mayor, this is a shambles. It should be voted down, and we should do all of this properly. Thank you.
Councillor Becker.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of points, really. It's, I suppose, quite ironic that on the timetable of meetings it says meetings shown in light grey are provisional and may not go ahead when there's so little business in the year anyway. There's 4 months of the year with no meetings whatsoever. That's a third of the year where this council's closed for business. So effectively, we have a lead of this council that's actually closed for business for a third of the municipal year. And you guys think this is democracy, good business, and actually being efficient. You couldn't make it up. If this had been a comedy show, it would be taken back to the scripters, they'd be saying, it's too far-fetched.
Thank you, Councillor Becker. Councillor Gordon.
Just two very brief points, Mayor. Firstly, I look forward to the strong and stable chairmanship that we will see under Councillor Callaghan. And I do hope dearly that Councillor Callaghan will be able to handle...
For a moment, I thought it was a compliment to me.
I can if you want. And I do hope dearly that Councillor Callaghan will be able to respond to the sheer volume of emails that I seem to generate. But alas, I think there's something that I do want to mention, though, is I think that in this, and in this whole meeting, I know we're speaking about the timetable here, but we have seen countless attacks on our officers tonight. And I think that is absolutely shameful, because our officers have steered this ship. Our officers have done a fantastic job, and I put my trust in them.
Councillor Hodge.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm probably not going to be very popular, but I actually agree with the comments that have been made about the timetable. I too had reservations with regards to the frequency of some of the committee dates, but I would like to make a suggestion that this particular timetable in draft as it stands be referred to the Policy and Resources Committee for subsequent review. Chair, I'm trying to look for the appropriate motion in the new constitution. It formerly was under section 14, but I would like to put that as a motion tonight to be voted on.
So if you're moving an amendment, I need it in writing so it can be circulated to members.
Well, it formally said to refer something to an appropriate body or individual, Mr. Mayor. And it was 14.5, and I'm now saying that the timetable should be referred to the Policy and Resources Committee for review.
Councillor Hodge, I think the timetable is a broad outline of meetings. Additional meetings can be called. Councillor Dance, you know, I don't know what's on your chair. Okay, just one moment, please. Sit down, please. Just sit down. Councillor Dance, you performed very well tonight. Just calm down a little bit. Let me finish. Let me finish, please. It's a draft of the meetings, right? It was prepared, was tonight. They may not have known it, but it could have gone back to a cabinet system. And if you remember, initially that was put out to group leaders and other members with dates in there. It was for the cabinet or policy, etc., etc. And there wasn't. That was how it came out. Now, I believe that committees can set additional meetings they want, so I'm not sure what Councillor Hodge is suggesting is a worthwhile exercise. Now I'll listen to Councillor Dadds.
I think what Councillor Hodge needs to look at, I think, is Article 12, the presentations and reports, and then go to the motions without notice to amend it if she wants it. However, in relation to the point you raised, I asked the Chief Executive that they all brief members' meetings about additional meetings. Can the Chairman call it? And my understanding, he said that they can't. The Chief Executive has to approve for additional meeting. It's likely, but he, as I understand it, this is what was said, is that there may be a resource implication for calling additional meetings. So therefore, you have to get the Chief Executive to agree any new committees. So therefore, it's not just a draft and we'll perhaps all look at it and add on. As I understand it, because we were all talking about costs. So in relation to your point, I would like the Chief Executive, maybe through you, Mr. Chairman, Mayor, to clarify: is it right that he is the one that has to authorise the additional meetings, or is it? Can it go to a committee where they discuss it and agree? Because the councillor was that discussion previously.
Councillor Dadds, let me clarify.
Is that that was right, wasn't it? It's all Linda. It's the bit you need.
Right, the chairman of Councillor Dadds, the chairman of the committee can call an additional meeting. He'll resource that committee when it's called, right? I was at that discussion where you were as well. And we've got slightly different memories of it, but that's the procedure. So the chairman of a committee can call an additional meeting, the same as happened in the past with planning committees, etc. Leave it. Councillor Smith.
Before that item raised by Councillor Odge, I was going to say I beg to move the question be put on the timetable of meetings.
Have I got a seconder? That's seconded. All those in favour of the question be put, please show.
Go for an Indian up there. So we do selections and then right.
All those against? Right. Okay. That is carried. No abstentions. So on the timetable of meetings, all those in favour, please show. All those against, please show. Thank you. Any abstentions? Right, as we haven't got a leader of the council, there's no statement from the leader. Thank you very much. Hang on a moment. Thank you very much for, I think it was 2 very good meetings. Councillor Dadd, you performed very well. Can I say it's the first time I've been called by Councillor Turner a socialist, and I just wondered why he was asking socialists to join when he approached me to join the Conservative Party.